If we were given the opportunity to be happy all of the time, should we take it? Of course. You know, the point of spiritual practice that brings us closer and closer to truth is to experience joy. Ultimately, what do any of us really want in life? We want to be happy. If you go around and I say, all right, tell me your goals. Some of you may have goals that say, I want to become the CEO of a company. Somebody may have a goal that says, I want to lose 10 pounds. Somebody may have a goal that says, I want to make this much money, or I want to help this many people, or be of service in this way, or I want to get married and have these children, or whatever goal we may set for ourselves. Ultimately, if you look at why you want it, at the end of the day, it's so I can be happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually really kind of a tragedy that we feel embarrassed. When you say that the bottom line of all of our goals, even if they seem selfless, even if they seem altruistic, the bottom line is so that I'll be happy. And there is nothing to be embarrassed about by that. Happiness is actually our birthright. It's our nature. But it's important to be honest with yourself and realize whatever I'm doing, whatever goal I have, I've made that a goal because I believe, whether it's true or not, but I believe that once I accomplish that goal, I will be happy. Whether I will be happy because I will have more money and be able to buy more things, and I think that things make me happy, or whether I think that power is going to make me happy, that getting people's respect will make me happy, whether it's because I think that having a spouse and having kids and having that kind of family life will make me happy, or whether it's because I've experienced that when I give to others, I feel happy. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, whatever my goal is, it's so that I will feel happy. People say to me sometimes, God, you left everything back there in America and you came to India, and how did you leave everything? And it's a really skewed and quite incorrect way of looking at things, and I'm always sure to point this out politely, of course, but to point it out, because this idea that somehow leaving what you could consider a world of material prosperity for a world of spiritual prosperity, the idea that somehow that's a great sacrifice and that I've left everything, and that there's something very noble about that I've somehow made a great sacrifice. And what I always tell people is, I actually made exactly the same choice everybody makes, which is, what package deal of life is most likely to give me the most happiness? It's not that I thought, oh, I'll have the most happiness in America, but I'm going to live in India anyway, just to be noble or just to sacrifice. It's that I looked around and realized this life, in its simplicity, in the opportunity to actually be of service to people, in the connection spiritually to God, to a community, actually makes me more happy, both on a minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour basis, as well as on a bigger picture level, than the life I came from in America, or the life that I continue to see when I go back and visit. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about in realizing that we make the choices we make because at the end of the day, we think that they're the ones that are going to make us the most happy. So why would we not choose to be happy all the time, right? For those of you who just came in, the question was, if we were given the opportunity to be happy all of the time, should we take it? And I said, of course. Now, spiritually, when we talk about equanimity and this way of approaching and dealing with the ups and downs of life, it doesn't mean seek them out. It doesn't mean give up what makes you happy and be miserable on purpose. Life is up and down. The only way to actually be happy all the time is through a spiritual practice of cultivating equanimity. There's no other magic wand. No matter what you dedicate yourself to, if it's something in the outer world, what you look like, how much money you make, how good your career is, how popular you are, whatever it may be, it's going to go up and down. There are going to be moments of sadness, of despair, of anger, of frustration, of jealousy, of competition. The only way to actually be happy all the time is to cultivate this equanimity, which says, whatever arises, I'm going to see it with the same eyes. In the same way that we can walk through, for example, a flower garden and see roses and see jasmine and see gardenias and see sunflowers, and maybe you like the roses the best or the jasmine the best. But that doesn't mean that you're unable to appreciate the other flowers. It doesn't mean that you're going to wish that the rose were like a jasmine. Or, you walk down the fruit aisle of a grocery store, or you walk through a fruit orchard, and you see bananas, and you see oranges, and you see apples, and you would never say, my God, why can't this banana be juicy like an orange? It's a bad banana because it's not juicy. You understand that bananas aren't juicy by nature. Oranges are juicy by nature. And you may have a preference for one over the other, but you're able to see them all in their own divine perfection as they are. And so the only way to actually be happy all the time is to develop that ability to see life like that. I may prefer success over failure. I may prefer pleasure over pain, gain over loss, health over sickness. But to be able to see all of them as just different varieties of flowers in the garden of my life, each there to offer me something. So, yeah, if you've got the opportunity to be happy all the time, absolutely take it. And you do have that opportunity. Not by denying the sad moments of life. Real joy, real happiness is not superficial. It's not about denial or repression or suppression. It's about being able to, even in the face of loss or failure or illness, to be able to see that presence of the divine in all, to see that presence of your opportunity to get closer to the divine in all. There's a reason that we talk about a dark night of the soul rather than a bright morning of the soul, right? Because when we go through these spiritual experiences, they tend to happen a lot more in dark nights than in bright mornings. So if you've got a bright morning, you love it and see it and appreciate it and enjoy it for the beautiful bright morning it is. And when you've got a dark night, you see it for the opportunity to connect with the soul, to go deeper, to go within, to find the light within. You know, here in India, we worship, we celebrate full moons, the Purnima, but we also celebrate the new moon, the Amavasya. And it's really interesting because you think, well, why in the world would you celebrate a dark night, a moonless night? The biggest celebration of the year, Diwali, the festival of lights, falls on Amavasya, the new moon. No moon in the sky. And it's the festival of light. Because it's a teaching that even in the darkness of the darkest night, there is light. But that light is inside. That light is in connecting to the divine. So the magic wand for happiness is not, there only should be full moons in my life. It's that when there's a full moon, I'm able to appreciate the light coming from outside. And when there's a moonless night, a dark night, I'm able to find the light from within. That's the magic wand. It's the only way. So, yes, when you have the opportunity, you should choose it. And yes, we all have the opportunity all the time. In every moment, we can choose joy. Not by denial, not by suppression, as I said, but simply by recognizing, is this a moment to find joy in the moon shining overhead? Or is it a moment to look for the joy in the moon shining inside? But the opportunity is always